So if you've been on Pokemon Go this past weekend, you know that we've got a new thing called routes into Pokemon Go, and it is all focused around Zygarde, and at the moment everybody is having the same issue. Nearby routes not found. So I'm going to go over the brief details of how you're going to use them once they are available, and also how you can create them. There'll be a side-by-side, obviously the website that I'm using at the moment to show you the actual verbal side, and I'll also show you some gameplay on the left, which will obviously show you how the in-game does look with them. So the first things first is routes is a brand new thing. It is solely designed around literally following a route. So as you can see on the screen here, we have got the how to create the route, but this is kind of, you go from the start point, you follow said route along, and you can get what we all want is Zygarde cells. That will allow you to, as we go down, if we show you here, you'll get the 10%, 50%, and also the full version of Zygarde if you get these cells. At the moment, it is very difficult to find routes because A, they are getting approved, and also they've only just been rolled out. So if you've not got a very dense playing field of loads and loads of players making routes, trying to do it, and then also Pokemon actually approving them, that is going to be the big thing that you're going to find really difficult at the moment. To create routes, you want to be going into your settings, very much like how you would do your Pokemon stops. Then you basically travel to a Pokemon stop or gym, select it as your route of point, as you can see here, select your route point, and this can be changed whilst obviously on the route, and then as you know, you can record your route. Go to your route and endpoint and finish recording. You'll finish off some general detail stuff with obviously the kind of submitting of the route. If you've ever done a Pokemon stop, you've got to almost explain why you think this is the best route you can do. Predominantly parks are going to be a great one. Maybe you've got a kind of trying to think of like a riverside where you could walk down there. It is going to be based around scenic sort of routes. In the city, I can imagine it's going to be a little bit more harder to approve, like we've seen with a lot of kind of Pokestops. It's all dependent on location, and also if Pokemon deem that above the guidelines. You can only do, as reported, 4 routes created per week, and that isn't going to be all approved 100% certain. You could get one of the routes approved out of the 4, you could get none. So make sure you are trying to really think of how Pokemon are thinking with these routes. Like I said, parks are going to be a great one. If you've got a circle to go around, I'd imagine you don't want to make them absolutely massively long, but then also you don't want to make them too short that they're not going to be necessarily a route worth doing. Once we've found the routes, it is as simple as tapping your nearby, sliding over to the routes, and you'll find some that are available. You want to then just click it, you go to the start line, follow the route pattern, which as you can see on the screen, it would be this kind of blue line. You want to follow it all the way along. I can imagine there's kind of drifting as well if you necessarily got to go around something, but you've got to follow that route to the end. Once then you've finished it, you'll get a route completion bonus. But the main thing we want is obviously the Zygarde cells. I've heard that anybody that has tried the routes are very, very difficult to get, but that is what we're trying to go for with these routes. You can complete, I believe, as much as you want, as long as you can find them, and I don't think you can do the same one twice on the same day. I believe you can go back and do it, but obviously you want to be doing as many different routes as possible. You can always quit out of them as well if you're mid-route and you've got to rush off somewhere, so don't think that once you've done it there, that's it, you've got to go until the end. If the route's longer than you thought, maybe you don't want to go that way, then you can obviously quit out of them as well and choose a different one. That's going to be it though. We want to get Zygarde's complete form. Let me know if you've had any luck in these routes. Apart from that, make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.